The city of Lagos is the heartbeat of the nation. And interestingly, life in Lagos is an intriguing, inspiring, and challenging adventure. For us on the City of Lagos TV show, the adventure never stops. This is Lagos. Welcome to the show.
Hello Lagosians, my name is Oluwadamilola Emmanuel, the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority. And today, of course, I'm here and I bring you good news because, as you know, we're working round the clock to ensure that we can build a safer, a cleaner, and a more prosperous waterway system. The Lagos State government is not just developing water transportation in isolation, we're also developing water transportation as an integrated transportation system. That is, as it links to the road transportation, as you know, and of course, excitedly, the rail transportation, which is also coming on board. So Lagos State is ensuring that people can move from point A to point B quite seamlessly. And of course, to ensure your safety, just recently we commissioned the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, an inland waterways command and control center, which obviously enables us gather enough data to make informed decisions, ensures your safety on the waterways, and of course ensures that we can respond to any kind of emergencies as soon as possible. We're also encouraging the private sector to bring in more boats as well, to be able to ensure that we can move more people on the waterways as well. And of course, to also ensure that you have very good infrastructure. The state government is currently upgrading all the current existing jetties and terminals to ensure that boats can move adequately from point A to point B. Passengers can embark and disembark. And of course, we continue to attract foreign funding as well to ensure that we have funds to constantly match up with the funds that the state government and other sources of funding are also bringing to water transportation. Lagosians, as you know, I'm sitting right here on top of a boat, and I don't know whether you even know that water transportation is actually the safest mode of transportation, because in case of any emergencies, as long as you have a proper life jacket on, you will be safe. And what are the likelihoods? That yes, maybe two boats run into each other, or maybe your boat happens to capsize. You're well safe with this life jacket, which is why LASWA as an authority has over the years consistently emphasized to all passengers about the use of this life jacket. And that's why we're encouraging Lagosians that please travel water. However, if you have to travel water, make sure you travel safe with these life jackets or any other recommended safe life jackets. Igbega Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has swung into action in the year 2022, doing serious business of governance. Let's keep you on speed on the latest developments from the governor's office. The game of polo is a unifying sport that engenders cooperation, bonding, and unity among the timber and caliber in the society. The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, made this assertion during his speech presentation at the Governor's Cup tournament at the Lagos Polo Club. Mr. Governor equally used the occasion to thank the organizers and participants for organizing such an event, to honor him and equally use it as a rallying platform for unity.
A game that brings men of timber and caliber together. A game that truly defines true sportsmanship. A game that you can see everything around the sports that is played on the field. The Polo Club. And here at almost the oldest polo club in the country, the Lagos Polo Club. We're indeed happy that year on year we begin to see improvement in the club, we begin to see infrastructural development, we begin to see a better ambience where members, friends, family come around, right, and relax and just have a nice time. This evening, we're watching the governor's cup.
That's the Nepal.
And 2 teams.
See the guy.
One from Lagos, the Electron Club, and another one from Kaduna. That's a pro club. You know the Lagos in me. We want to go with the Lagos, but you know that's not real sportsmanship. The real sportsmanship in us is that the best team should win, but they should win fairly and they should win decisively. This game requires a lot of safety, and so we will admonish all of the players to observe all of the safety procedures and ensure that that they play with fairness. It's a very tough game. It's a very masculine game. It's a very competitive game. So we know all of that is going to be displayed here this evening. But we're believing and hoping that they will do it under that ambience of safety, so that we can enjoy the game and they can go home, haven't finished the game. I'm hopeful that we will enjoy ourselves. I'm hopeful that all the other competitions we have tomorrow and the week coming, they will also be, as interesting as the ones we have here this evening. And I want to just say to all of our guests and members that it's a time for all of us to just know that this is just for all of us to know that with all of the challenges we have in our country, with all of the economic issues, that polo continues to prefer a soccer, a place where we can, just relax and know that everything will be well. Let's just calm down. Let's just, flow with it and make sure that at the end of the day, we'll have a nice time out here and we'll enjoy the game or a sport that we really love, which is polo. I want to thank the President and his committee members and trustees for also honoring me this afternoon.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, expressed his solidarity support for the determination to deliver on the 5 million votes target for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shettima team ahead of the presidential election, which was reverberated at the just held Eko Nibaje 10,000 Foot Soldiers Forum, proudly put together by the former Lagos State Governor and current Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola. The governor, who intermittently spoke in English and Yoruba language, was very optimistic that the 5 million vote target is realizable and possible to bring about a sure victory for APC.
All of us have shown the commitment that when we work together, we can achieve a lot together. And that's why I want to thank our Honorable Minister and all the teams that are working with him to also bring about this stakeholder engagement. And it is an engagement where we want to hit the ground also running. These 10,000, 20,000 foot soldiers will further complement what they're doing. The bottom line is that we want to reach every nook and cranny of the states. Afẹ́fí wọ̀n pé 5 million tá ti sọ yẹn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ó máa jáde àbí kò tẹ́ sọ fún mi kọ́ nìyẹn 5 million tá ti sọ yẹn ó máa jáde. And by the grace of God, we will all deliver it. Kò ń ṣe lásán náà kò sọ pé àwa ni highest. The INEC has shown that we have the numbers. And it is the numbers that we want to display. We want to show every resident of Lagos that it is APC up to down. Lágbára Ọlọ́run. And adẹ̀tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ Jerry àwọn èèyàn ti sọ̀rọ̀. But it's more bad deputy to saw is a confirmation of a product, a man that we all in this room know. A man that we all in this room have had direct and indirect encounter with. And we know that at this point in time is the best fit for the country. And you've seen also his vice presidential candidate going around showing us that it is a team that is unbeatable. He also has his own credentials as the best governor that they've seen in Borno. And if you talk about the history of Lagos and Borno, history of what nígbà táwọn Jákàndé náà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ relationship yẹn. relationship yìí ó dẹ̀ máa bí ọmọ tuntun ni, and ọmọ yẹn Nàìjíríà ni. It will be a renewed hope for Nigeria.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, recently attended an interactive forum for the National Social Investment Program (NSIP) in Lagos. While giving the statistical data on the number of beneficiaries from Lagos State, the Lagos State Commissioner for Wealth Creation, Mrs. Arubieke, commended the efforts and tremendous support of the Lagos State Governor to the NSIP initiative in Lagos.
NSIP really, it's like a 4-leg program. You have N-Power, over 500,000 have benefited from this program in Lagos State. Mr. Governor, you have 45,192 beneficiaries clustered under this in Lagos State. Your children alone in homegrown school feeding, which is the second leg I'm speaking on, 124,314 pupils, 1,319 vendors who are cooking for them, 880 public schools out of the 1,019 are in the scheme. All of these would not have been achievable without Mr. Governor.
On his part, Mr. Governor, who congratulated the beneficiaries, also commended the federal government for the NISP initiative.
It gives me pleasure today to be in your midst, and I want to congratulate all the beneficiaries of a national investment program across the 20 local government areas that are here today. I commend and appreciate the effort of the federal government under the able leadership of our dear Mr. President for the commitment to successfully implement what has been widely acknowledged as the most ambitious social intervention program that provides safety net for the poor and the less privileged, particularly children, women, youth, and elderly that are in our society. It is also an undisputed fact that the social investment program comprising conditional cash transfer, government enterprise empowerment program, which has trader money, market money, and farmer money, national homegrown school feeding scheme, and the Empower program, has continued to impact lives positively to all its beneficiaries. And you can see all of the testimonials that have come out today. And of course, it had impacted our economy across the country.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, officially launched the Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy recently in Lagos. The governor, who explained the rationale behind the academy, gave a futuristic potential of the academy.
We have just witnessed the launch of the Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy, public sector leadership development and mentoring initiative of the Lagos State government. This academy seeks to develop the next generation of leaders in the public and private sector by exposing selected young, talented Nigerians to work opportunities across the value chain of Lagos State government. We live in a time when leadership matters more than ever before, both in the private and in the public sector. A time when we need to ensure that we can actively and deliberately grow the pool of young Nigerians who are able to successfully meet the challenges of leadership in such a complex, complicated, and youthful nation as ours. As you can see, and you have listened to all the names, 30 of them, well balanced, 16 male and 14 female. You can see this is a clear testament of full female, gender balanced Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy. It is built and made in Lagos, but you can see it has a national outlook. It has a national presence because for us in Lagos State, Nigeria is one nation, and it's a nation that we're indeed truly proud of.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, alongside his wife and some key state cabinet members, were present at the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) Lagos State Branch Interdenominational Divine Service (IDDS) 2023 in Lagos. Mr. Governor used the occasion to admonish the congregation to be rest assured of victory and calmness despite the trying times and challenges the country is going through currently.
I have a father. I have a father. That will never fail. Oh, Jesus is my father. That will never fail. Rock of ages, never fail. Since we came in almost 4 years ago, I want to thank God that we have not missed any. This is the fourth, and I had to do everything to ensure that the blessing that comes out from this celebration is always, always with us. So I want to thank you for staying put and for receiving me. I think my brother, our Lord Bishop, Stephen Adegbite, had said it all. We're still in another part of the country up until early morning today. But we thank God that we can indeed meet you all here. And so I bring pleasure and greetings from the people of government and for all of our citizens. And to join our Lord Bishop, Stephen Adegbite, the chairman of CAN, and the entire leadership at this year's Interdenominational Divine Service, IDDS, a prayer session for our state and for our nation for keeping faith with what we had started several years ago. I want to commend CAN for making it possible for us to also have this and working assiduously at strengthening the cord of unity amongst the different denominations within the body of Christ. Peace, be still. I'm sure they've brought words to us, and I'm sure the preacher have done justice to it. But you can see that this is a sermon and a word that speaks to the reality that we find ourselves as a people and as a nation now. That indeed, as it's been espoused in Mark 4:39, part 2, it speaks appropriately to the challenges that we have in our nation. The sea and the wind obeying God's command, obeying our Lord Jesus' command, where he said, peace, be still. And it is in full compliance with complete divinity, meaning that only God, who is the creator, can speak and calm any difficult situation. No matter what the situation is, it's only our Lord Jesus calm any situation. And I'm sure here today, we'll all go home with the blessing that we have received. We'll all go home with the fullness of the appreciation and all the things and all the words that have been spoken to us today. Because indeed, now, we need ourselves more than ever before. We need to be peaceful. We need to remain calm. We need to reflect peace in everything that we do. And so I want to imagine that even as a body, yes, the Bible does not say that we will not go through tribulations, we will not go through challenges. But at the end of it, that calmness will come.
The recently held stakeholders engagement meeting with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave Mr. Governor the ample opportunity to address key areas of concern raised by some Lagosians. The governor addressed two major issues that bordered on infrastructural projects in the city of Lagos.
The first question was Ilasan housing estate. And you are right. You see, what is happening is that we've done extensive enumeration at Ilasan. We cannot rebuild Ilasan if we don't regenerate the place. Let me repeat. We cannot rebuild if we don't regenerate. And to regenerate means that something must give. If we don't do first an enumeration of who is where, who is in one flat, which tenant is there, which landlord is there, who really owns it, how are we going to do the regeneration? The slum and the way of life in that place is not fit. Let's be truth to ourselves. Oh, you should ask me, okay, if you say you're going to regenerate and you're going to rebuild, what is the alternative? What are you going to do for me? So if you and I sit down and I said, I have an alternative for you, come and take this additional estate. It's a brand new estate. Is that a bad thing that we're trying to do? If I give you a 3-bedroom for a 3-bedroom, is that a bad thing? And okay, you don't want again, you want me to give you money. Okay, you say you want 20 million. I say, okay, look at 18 million, look at 50. I'm just throwing numbers at you. And we agree. I said, okay, give me a house, give me small change, I will relocate. Or I can go and rent house. If you finish and build back, let's talk about it and you see how we put some of us back there. Those are the conversations we need to have. Mr. Adelekon, Coastal Road. So, you know, life is always very easy. So when you're on the express road, right? Coastal Road, if I know Lamu design, I know like say alignment Coastal Road. I was in government when we took that alignment and we said that we wanted to do Coastal Road there. But it's also the same government that said we also want to do regional road. Abi? And so we looked at both and we asked ourselves which one is least problem? Which one can we do quicker that we don't have to do a lot of demolition? Which one can we do that we can quickly finish? We said the regional road will solve a lot of problems because in here you need developments to go on this left-hand side. Both of them are relieved for the Lekki-Epe Express Road. Both of them. The regional road is 10 kilometers, 9.88 kilometers, and they've done about 40-50%. It has a bridge component. You can see them. It comes out for BGC. You can see it. So it is to do it stage by stage.
And finally, from the governor's office, despite the GDP of Lagos, which is about 120 billion naira, which is 30% of the GDP of Nigeria, Lagos needs the support of the organized private sector to boost the IGR of the state. The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, made this assertion during an interactive session with the organized private sector recently in Lagos.
The GDP of Lagos is clearly over 120 billion right now, so which makes it closer to 30% of the GDP of our country. And of course, the GDP is bigger than the GDP of Kenya, it's bigger than the GDP of Ghana, it's bigger than the GDP of Ivory Coast. And so you can see that indeed your city, your state is in itself a big country that we're all just struggling, to fit into. In terms of those GDP sizes, it will be 6th to 7th largest, economy in Africa. People have toyed and said that yes, our IGR is 50 billion, and I'm seeing some parties, trying to lay, some very, very wrong numbers and say, because they collect 51 billion. We're not even there yet. The size of this city, we need to double those numbers, right? So we're even still doing 50 and 60, we haven't stretched it at all. But in all of those collections as well, the challenges that comes, with a bigger city like us, Even the amount of money it costs us to keep the city functional, resilient, the amount we spent to clear out, containers that fall on the road, to respond to emergencies, to respond to fire incidents, to go into Ogun State and rescue citizens and all of it, speaks to the reason why those IGRs have to go up. And some of you organized private sectors here, we need to be able to agree to team with us, and see how we grow those numbers very, very quick, so that we can indeed offer a lot more. And of course, that Lagos is home to headquarters of close to 70% of all large corporations in our country. It's the largest food basket in the entire sub-Saharan region, meaning that, we consume almost everything that comes in. But we're trying to take ourselves from that. Even if we cannot feed ourselves completely, at least let us be able to intervene and be able to attract investment in also how we get to feed this huge population.
And that's it from the Governor's Office segment on the City of Lagos TV show. The show continues right after this timeout. You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show. This is, of course, one platform that is projecting the themes agenda of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, from all ramifications. And of course, this is a segment, the Lagos State Agencies in Focus. And of course, one agency that is committed to achieving efficient waste management system in the city of Lagos is the Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA. So it's my pleasure to welcome the Managing Director, CEO of the Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, Honorable Ambassador Ibrahim Adejuwon Odumboni. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
So quickly, let's look at the LOMA Waste Management Strategic Master Plan. To a large extent, this agency has been able to work towards the fulfillment of the team's agenda of Mr. Governor. But let's share the master plan, the strategic master plan for waste management in Lagos.
Thank you very much. I think way before now, the master plan of Lagos Waste Management Authority was drawn way back in 2003 by the current governor, then Commissioner of Environment, and the current PS. Coincidentally, the three of them were involved. And that waste management plan has carried us over the last 20 years. And I'm glad to tell you that we are in the process of finalizing on the next one that will take us into the next 20 years. So in this conversation, I'll probably share with you a little bit of some of the things that we're looking at in the plan, and then reflecting on some of the key successes of the master plan that was developed in 2003 and where it's taking us to now, and how the agency, LOMA, have been able to perform its expectation from the executive arm of the government and every other residents in Lagos to in delivering a sustainably clean Lagos environment. So first and foremost, if you look at the master plan we have now, we have to look at waste from the beginning to the end, from point of generation, separation, aggregation, collection, then look at the disposal, treatment, then we now look at waste to wealth, waste to energy, and some of the other end of the waste chain that creates value. Previously, waste, like we always say in the waste sector, the waste is not a waste until it's fully wasted, and we always question where the full waste will come from. Because what we count as waste to some other person is probably a resource. And we've tried to create a chain whereby that continues to grow. We want to be able to create a time whereby we'll be able to achieve a zero waste. And the only way we can achieve zero waste is when all our waste have maybe a sector or a unit that takes that and use that as a resource to be able to produce something like reusable. So over the next couple of years, you see a lot of focus on recycling. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. So just making sure that there's a complete circular economy going on in the space of waste management. You also see a lot on containerization of waste, because we know fully well that when waste is well managed, when it's well containerized. So the aim is to ensure that every household, every businesses, every public spaces have a waste bin, a bin for the collection of waste, pending the time it's being collected for further processing. Another part that we've done over the last 2 years that we are going to drive more on is education and awareness and what is needed before you start going into any other form of enforcement and co. Because you need to educate, raise the awareness, and ensure that people are given a much more viable environment to do the right thing before you start picking up the ones that are not doing the right thing. And also, I want to say that the state, through the legislative arm and the judiciary arm, have given us a lot of support over the last couple of years, and more of that is coming in the next waste management plan. And what that will involve is the speed of enforcement will be faster, quicker. So our assembly members are going to help us look at our laws, our APML law, to make sure that it's watertight and is effective for every one of us to do the right thing at the first time. And also the judiciary arm will be there to give us more special courts, more magistrate courts that can listen to environmental related offenses so that we can deter people from doing the wrong thing from time to time. So a lot of things coming up that way. But also part of the major reform is for our PSP to look at capitalization and how are we going to support them as a government. Governor Sanwo-Olu made a promise to them when Loma was giving operational vehicles in 2021 that we are going to support them to change their fleet. And I'm happy to tell you that our budget this year reflects that. It reflects that governor's promise and intention, because it's our talk and do governor. He says something, he does it straight away. So we've got it in our plan to ensure that the empowerment and the capitalization and support for our PSP is in our plan this year. And our aim is to start with a significant volume, more than what Loma had before, and then start to change all those trucks so that we have brand new PSP trucks that will reduce emission, our climate change goal. At the same time, have a truck that has a more efficiency and last longer. To be able to go to various communities, we're going to cater for trucks that can go some of the areas that could be found challenging before. So all those things have been taken into account. But all in all, I believe with the support that the agency gets from the executive arm, the legislative arm, and the judiciary arm, we are well positioned to take Lagos on our 20 years journey from the new waste management plan.
MD, you've actually, to a large extent, been able to make some giant strides as the managing director of Loma. So can you just catalog the major significant achievements and accomplishments of this agency?
So for me, I think choosing one as the most significant is a tough call. But in terms of my management skill, capability, and person, I'll probably say the people side of it is the biggest change. So if you look at Loma as an agency, a lot have changed in terms of staff welfare, a lot have changed in terms of people. So now we have a lot of stakeholders in the business. We call ourselves family members, a lot of heroes. Now we've grown our sweepers from below 10,000. Now we are now in the 17,000 plus bracket. We have been able to provide a job for youths in the riverine areas where they are now managing our marine services with over 400 employed. And in the recycling sector, Governor Sanwo-Olu has formalized recycling, and now we have over 12,500 youths working in that sector as well. So, and then we continue to see a growth in our PSP. Their volume has gone from 327 to 450 something now, and still counting. And that's a significant investment in the sector. We also look at things that we've done in terms of people, capacity building, development. That has gone a very long way. The Loma staff, the informal sector that supports us, and also our vendors, our PSPs, our CEOs and co. So over the last couple of years, we've been able to touch on every part to ensure that we have built their capacity. We have done a capacity assessment. We have also done empowerment assessment in terms of what they need to be in a very good space to provide a good service to our people. But nevertheless, don't let us forget some of the achievements and things we've done, like Loma Academy. At the beginning of this administration, we had about 3 recyclers, and now we're talking about almost 170 recyclers. And then we've seen the value of plastic and plastic pollution is reducing day by day. We also seen the decentralization of our operation. We've completely decentralized our operation. So now we don't just have one Loma that operates from Jorolop, our HQ. We have Loma in 6 districts. And then it makes sure that people have direct access to Loma within a 2-mile radius of where they are, where we have the district head operating in their district. We also look at our own technology when it comes to engineering base. We fabricated our own bins. Before, the organization used to buy bins from outside. Now our market bins are double diagonal bins through the support of Mr. Governor and his encouragement and his tutelage as well. The bins we're talking about, the big giant bins that you see in the market. Normally we have to go and get them in Europe. It costs about $15,000 for them to get them, and then you have to wait for haulage, time, arrival, clearing. But now we're able to make and fabricate all of them in this compound in Jora. So we did about over 100, and we're able to engage over 400 local welders to come in and work on them. And that shows that we've created something ourselves, and we've been able to manage it since then at a much more cheaper cost. We also look at education and awareness. A lot have grown. We've gone to various communities to do advocacy. Last year, we were in over 30 LCD and local governments talking to them about waste management, and that will continue this year as well. We are partnered with Subeb. We are teaching waste management in primary school curriculum for 30 minutes a week. Well done to Honorable Alawiye King for helping us and partnering with us to be able to make that happen. And also we look at things like what we've done in terms of our research and development. Our current governor was able to help us bring back some of the old developmental things that Lema was doing, like the resuscitation of our briquette plants at Agbawa that's turned sawdust to brick that can be used as a fuel in the future. So that was brought back by Governor Sanwo-Olu. He gave us all what is needed for us to look at that technology and then localize it so that when the time comes and our Timberville village is up and running, we are ready for them as an agency. Then also we have the compost plant in Udonguyo, where we are making about 500 bags of fertilizer on a daily basis at the back of our market waste and abattoir waste around the Kurudu axis. And that is something that I know that in our future plan we want to replicate so that they can be in various parts. There's nothing wrong in it being in all the senatorial districts in Lagos, where we can then start to capture some of our organic waste and turn it into something that can be used by our farmers to produce food. So a lot of things have been done in that on that space, but most importantly, like you said, is the people side, because the people actually makes the agency.
In case you just join us, this is Lagos State Agencies in Focus, and we're speaking with the Managing Director of LOMA. MD, LOMA Academy is the educational arm of LOMA that engages innovative approach. And of course, to a large extent, also support corporate personal development and drive social responsibility among the citizens. To what extent have you been able to actualize this mandate for the LOMA Academy?
For LOMA Academy, the LOMA Academy is one of the ideas that I came up with since I assumed the office as the MD of the organization. And it's something that I noticed a gap between, and I was not a waste manager by trade initially, but now I could be cast as maybe a senior student in waste management. So how did I get through that journey? It was quite tough, and I felt that if somebody else out there is willing to come and join the waste sector, I want to kind of simplify it and also try to use education and awareness, correct some of what we call the abnormal norms around our environment. And that's what the LOMA Academy has come about. And it's done well beyond expectation. We do 10 interns on a monthly basis. We've done 2 goods command schools with about 150 students each. We've had corporate bodies come in and learn and trade. And then some of our new PSPs or recyclers that are onboarding, we are training them before they go out there. Then it's also help in terms of medical waste management, where we are training different hospitals and different people in the medical sector, healthcare sector, on how to best manage their waste. And also, we've gone in partnership with Lagos State University, University of Lagos, Safe Environment in the UK, and a couple of universities in the UK and the US as well, to be able to work on giving a certified accreditation document for people that are doing certificate courses or diploma courses in there. So it's something that has been encouraging. And then also, more importantly, when it comes to partnership, and also for us helping other states. We've helped over 7 states over the last 3 years to start their own kind of LOMA formation. And LOMA Academy have taken them through that journey because it gives them the background, and then they'll be able to learn from some of our past mistakes, some of our future projections, and they are setting up. And I'm very proud that the opportunity that the governor, our Governor Oyedepo, has given us, we've been able to pass it on to other states in the country. And we are very confident that as LOMA Academy continues to grow as a force citadel of learning for solid waste management in Nigeria and across West Africa, will definitely be bigger, stronger, and much more of an institute in the future where a lot of research can be done. So they're doing a lot of things to look into the future now. And that's what we really need. So LOMA Academy have started looking into one thing that everybody keep asking: waste to energy, when are we going to have it? So LOMA Academy is doing an in-depth research into what are the T's we need to cross and the I's we need to dot before we get to that waste to energy.
All right. As a follow-up to that question, an agency of this nature wouldn't have been able to achieve some of these giant strides without collaborators, without stakeholders, both locally and internationally. So who are your collaborators, both locally and internationally, agencies, organizations that have been able to also support your initiative?
Our biggest collaborator is our parent ministry, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, led by our Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Tunji, and also our PS, Mr. Dr. Ombolaji Gaji. So like I mentioned earlier, they were part of, coincidentally, 20 years ago, they were part of the people that wrote this waste management plan. So it makes life easier for us, and we have been having a smooth sailing. But Ministry of Environment as a whole, as the policy formulator, and they've been able to guide us in that space. And another key collaborator that I must mention is, if you look at the legislative arm, we have the chairman of the Committee for Environment, Honorable Desmond Elliott, and also the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Shiwa Basa, has been very supportive. But if you don't want to look at the extended stakeholders, apart from our PSPs, who are a major player in the field as well, they've carried this sector for a while. It's been tested and proven, and they are doing a very good job. We now have recyclers joining them. Now we have Food and Beverage Alliance, which is all the producers like Coca-Cola and other NGOs. Almost all the corporate banks have always been supportive. People like State Bank and First Bank, they've done a lot in kitting our sweepers, and FCMB as well for providing uniform for some of our operatives that are working in various fields. And they also help us in starting our initiative. So, for example, it would have been difficult without the support of Access Bank to commence Loma Academy. So they also supported to give us a push and see where we are now with Loma Academy. And we continue to extend that support and that general stakeholdership, because like they say, Lagos is a Jumoshi. But when it comes to waste management, everybody is involved. It doesn't matter where you're from, your tribe, where you live, which angle of Lagos you live, you will generate waste daily. And that waste is something that you have to interface with Loma. We are one of the agencies to reckon with in the country as a whole, because our responsibility is enormous and it continues to grow. But without the support of the executive arm, Mr. Governor and his team, it would have been very difficult, because waste is recurrent and it's an everyday thing.
Waste is an everyday thing. And considering the cosmopolitan nature of Lagos, as an agency, you have your challenges. What are these challenges, and how have you been able to surmount them?
The biggest challenge we have will be attitudinal change. Our people need to change their attitude, honestly. The money that we spend in waste management, if we all do the right thing, could be diverted into education, into health, into providing loads of other infrastructure. You can see the state coming up with rail system. Who says we can't get more than that? We can't. But we need to cut our wastages and be able to do the right thing so that we can get better environment, better life, and better cosmopolitan city. Change your waste. You have to stop dumping waste indiscriminately. Pay your waste bill on time. We're in golden age now. This is not an age where you say, I don't pay anybody, I can't pay waste bill. No. As long as you can continue to live and wake up every day, it is a necessity that you pay your waste bill, just like taxes. It's something you have to put up with in our lifetime. Very important. And also, we also need to ensure that we look at the issue of containerization. That's another challenge that we face. How many households have there been in the state? We'll get to a time where you go to an household and you have color-coded bins all across. But what we're asking for now is for you to have a bin as a start. Have a starting point. Waste management is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You understand what I mean? So you have to be in stages. We cannot jump from zero waste management to 100% waste management. It's not going to happen like that. Don't sit there and wait for the government to provide you this bin. Government will provide an enabling environment. There are private vendors out there that are investing in bin production, bin importation, and go. But we need all the over 2 million households in Lagos to own a bin, and it will make life easier. We're going to save money. The money you use to buy malaria drugs, some of the other illnesses that can come from ineffective waste management, it will save that. So it's one challenge that every one of us must look into. Attitudinal change, containerization of waste, and doing the right thing the first time by ensuring that you patronize your PSP.
Data is very key for an agency of this nature. Collection and collation, very fundamental. So have you been able to generate very reliable, authentic data, helping you to achieve your set objectives?
The good thing is you won't be able to proper planning without research has its own challenges. So for us, some of the researches we've done is what is bringing about a lot of what our innovations or all our future plans have been. So we have a research and statistics unit, and we have the waste management development unit. So for example, we have statistics of how much waste is being disposed at our dump site over the last 20 years. That data is there. We have the ones on how many households are being enlisted per street. We have that as well. So data is very important, and that's why we came up with the fact that some of these little statistics that can be very useful for people out there in looking at what kind of waste does Loma deal with, what kind of enormous task do we do on a daily basis. So we have a city that has over 20 million residents, and we estimate that everybody will generate a minimum of 0.65 kg of waste daily as a bare minimum. And that's where we come up with our 13,000 plus metric ton of waste on a daily basis. We measure our collection rates on a monthly basis, and our aim is to take it from the lower bottom of having below and then be moving to the higher last quarter of the percentages. So I'm glad to say that we are well over 75% collection rates, and we are moving towards attaining a time whereby majority of the waste that generated daily are surrendered to us. In the past, we've had a 10% collection rate before. You had a lot of things before this administration, and those things are changing, and we continue to change that. So also, if you look at statistics for us, it is what informs us on some of the things that are being done outside Lagos and outside Nigeria in terms of waste management. And I can tell you, we're not far from some of these developed countries. They might have the technology that they use instead of human in some of the things that we do. But waste management is the same thing everywhere. It's just that technological advancements are different. Most people don't have a collection application for recyclable. We are the first in the world to have it. So there are some things in waste management that Lagos and Loma have been the first in the world to have. And those are the things that the administration of Governor Sanwo-Olu is very proud of. And that's the enabling environment. When our governor is talking about smart cities, smart Lagos, and people are asking the question, what does that mean? Those are the kind of things. You have to weigh beyond average.
Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is going for a second term. Of course, he's the man to beat. From all indication, this is one administration that wants to ensure sustainability to provide a greater Lagos for Lagosians. As the MD of Loma, how would you appraise Mr. Governor with regards to his support for Loma?
Oh, thank you very much. I think for me, appraising Governor on behalf of everybody in Loma on my own is not the appropriate thing to do. But if you look at the rally that we had on the 19th of January at Onitsha, that's what the proper appraisal was done. You can see a lot of people, including myself, in the stakeholder environment for waste management, willingly turning up to support a second term bid. And what that tells you is everybody came at will. We all came at will, because in waste management across the states, people knew what happened before now. So this sector, I've seen a tsunami before. And now it's a time that we've seen a lot of progress made to regenerate, re-engineer, and reposition Loma. And what we want is Loma to go forward. We don't want to go backward. We have about 40,827 direct stakeholders in this sector. And every one of us, including me, leading them, I put our weight behind Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, because he is the one that can take us to the next level that we are going to move into. Greater Lagos is rising, because definitely the greater Loma will come at that time, and that's what we are focusing on. And not to take away from us as well, you can see that majority of our activities, our development, our sector, our waste management sector, our PSP, were written initially during Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration as the governor of Lagos State. And that's why they were both supported. And our stakeholders across the states, on that day, we have various waste management partners that we have in different states in Nigeria came around. The waste managers were there, the marine boys were there, all the boys on the dump side, the bowler boys were there, the Shasha recycling boys were there, every waste policing were there, CPACU, everybody. That's just about 1/3 of us that were there. A re-election, knowing fully well that it's time. We have prospered, people have fostered, PSPs were down. They were down to almost like 90 something. The number of trucks we had were just below.
So what would be the area of consolidation, projections, future plans?
The area of projection of future plan for us would be, you are continuing to see a more consistently cleaner Lagos. And you see a more organized performance and optimization of efforts and job done by PSPs. You see have every different places people complaining about it, that they are not complaining about frequency of collection, they are complaining about pricing, they are complaining about things, and this at least a very good starting point for us. Before now, all those were non-existent. So we can assure you that one of the key promises is all those will be aligned, even before the middle of this year, all those will be aligned as well. And then we can see a better welfare for our staff. Like we saw, the governor has promised to increase the wages of all our participants in the sector, and we start to see a change in our sweepers are now earning 20% more than what they were earning before. And honestly, working in the waste management sector is a calling, and that's why the governor appreciates them, because it's part of the people that put this thing together, and that's the benefit that we are all reaping now in Lagos.
Managing Director, Lagos Waste Management Authority, Loma, has been our guest on the City of Lagos TV show. And so on a final note, MD, what's your word of assurance and encouragement to Lagosians and all stakeholders moving forward?
My point of message to Lagosians is for us all to always ensure we do the right thing the first time. If you do the right thing the first time, then you need to leave the rest for the Solid Waste Management Regulatory Agency, Loma. We are better positioned to provide an healthier environment, a positive climate change environment for you in Lagos. And also we want to reassure you that the performance of our PSP vendors, our sweepers out there, our collaborators out there will improve over the next coming months. And we also want to appreciate and give a vote of confidence to our governor for all he has done for us, and to also let him know that to whom much is given, much is expected. He should expect a much more better and stronger performance from us in the agency. We are all out there to bring a change to this environment, a change whereby Governor Olu has started this change, and it's about building from what we have and taking us to greater heights. And I'm quite confident that this administration will be able to do that.
It's obvious Lagosians are in for a better deal when it has to do with waste management in the city of Lagos. I want to thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much.
You've heard it all from the Managing Director. Waste management in Lagos has been taken to, of course, a greater height, bringing in cutting-edge technology to make our environment in Lagos safe. And so Loma, of course, is the big deal for all of us. And that's it on the City of Lagos TV show for now.
Good day, Lagosians. My name is Ibrahim Adejuwon Oduboni. I'm the MD CEO of Lagos Waste Management Authority, Loma. I'm here to reassure you of our commitment as a regulator for solid waste management in Lagos. And the reassurance we are here to give you is for a better, consistently cleaner and sustainable waste management in Lagos. I want to appeal to each and every one of you out there to please do the right thing the first time by ensuring that you separate your waste from source, you patronize registered and recognized PSP, and you ensure that you partake in the waste management education all across your neighborhood. Pay your PSP bills on time and ensure that your waste are properly disposed in the right manner. And in so doing, I want to assure you that Loma really cares, and we are here to serve you better. I also want to appreciate the support that our governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has provided us over the last couple of years and still doing for us as an agency. On behalf of all the stakeholders in the waste management sector, from the waste manager down to the sweepers and the Loma staff, I want to appreciate you all. And I want to appreciate your executive in making all this happen. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Believe me, if you can survive in the city of Lagos, you can survive anywhere in the world. All you need to do is to stay focused. Let's talk about this great city again next week. Thanks for watching.